So we haven't missed much because thankfully we saw that priority roll happen, and we're still waiting for James to decide what he's going to do. It's so tense. He knows he's up against it. He needed that priority roll. It's a big deal. So, Mick Wendell, thank you for joining the knee-stabbing gang. Don't forget, for 7 months, the Honest Wargame will be the Irish GT in 3 months. So that's going to be an exciting time. Not 3 months, 3 weeks. So sorry, doing the coverage there. So you should check that out. But yeah, so we still haven't seen any decisions reached by Jim. He has decided to move one of his characters to the bottom-hand corner. Is that right, Darren? Perfect. So as predicted, this character, and I'm not sure if you guys will have heard that, this character here has moved on, and I'm not sure if the character in the centre top is actually close enough to score the objective. I'm not sure if he's close enough to score the objective of the centre top. But we'll find that out. And then the eels have finally moved towards the contorted epitome, which I'm assuming what he's trying to do there is... I'm thinking what he's trying to do is kill this to stop summoning here. However, chain summoning is a thing.
Yep.
Although I don't think...
it's going to be far enough away there, though, I think, with the keeper's move.
But it's move, summon, and can summon as well. Could just bring those points back and still be in a strong position.
Yeah, the keeper holding that objective there, I think, that's a good shout. If he moves to there, he can summon onto the objective there, he can summon onto the objective there. Maybe he just, like I said earlier on, that he wants to be summoning bodies now. I don't think those eels are enough of a threat on their own down there, and to really be giving these any real concern. So he just wants bodies, and maybe you summon a cheap Enrapturus somewhere. You summon 10 demonettes. He's going to be down on points. I think he's going to be at least 8 points down.
Although we've heard, so we're now in the shooting phase.
Yeah.
The decision has been reached. Jim is shooting everything down here from these Reavers into Shilaxi, which is a big shout and a necessary.
She's only got 3 wounds left, remember. Reavers at close range, they do have 3 shots each, so I don't know how many of them are left in there.
Wow, that's devastating.
Yeah, that's probably 30 shots or so. I'd say she's got 6 saves to make. On average, there, the Shilaxi should take her 3.
She's dead. She has died. Oh, it has died. They. Thank you. Damn it. They has died. They have died.
They have died.
Oh, okay. So it's not dead. They's not dead. They are. Oh, it's dead. Gonna go for it. It's easier for me, and to relearn. Yeah, throw side. I would love that as the next integration for the overlay. If you want to help us do-side that, that'd be great. Oh, we're into the priority roll, are we not? Is that correct?
No, still shooting phase. 38 depravity.
38 depravity.
Now I think, now that those Reavers have been cleared up, does James go for a charge into that keeper? Has he got a keeper near so that he can keep enough of them alive to survive with Battle Shark?
Oh, a character. So he's got right here.
So so he does. So I'd be tempted to put that keeper in there, and I mean, yes.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So he would be able to pile in twice there, and
with the keeper's secrets, pile in, attack.
Yeah, so maybe not.
Yeah, so however, the charge we have seen, the contorted epitome, I don't mind when one of these dies. I'm very happy with that. So that's not long for this world, because those eels on the charge are stated devastating. So he's got 7 wounds with a 5-up save. There's just no way that those eels... But they are really being cut down, realistically. There's less and less of them. There you go. There's a garish set of colours between the scenery, the carpet. But yeah, it's pretty decent in combat as well. Did it use its 4-up ability to make the eel strike last? Is the question. They haven't got there yet.
There's a good point from Will in the chat, Rintra. He said that the keeper is going to struggle to move past those thralls there to get to the centre because he can't go within 3 and that keeper can't fly. That terrain piece is blocking him, so he's going to have to go round if he wants to go round, or he's probably going to have to come down here and deal with that, try and take this objective, which leaves the.
But you can do it with the 2 demonettes go here. The chariot comes round and actually gives itself the charge into the character, freeing itself up, setting itself up for the turn into the eels, which is cool. Then the keeper comes here, consolidates, can still summon in there because it's going to charge in there. So then he's going to get 1 at the top, 2, and then potentially if he summons onto that with a character, 3, so he can bring it all back going into the priority. Those eels have to start doing work all again. But JP has to see it to play it.
Yeah, if I was JP, I would be pleased with the position I was in now.
So there we go. We've seen the contorted epitome at the top die.
Did kill an eel
although
in return, though?
He'd used the locus on it, so I don't think he killed any eels in return.
No, he did. He killed 1 and
he
did a
killed
couple of
1.
So that's over 40 depravity now. I think he's on maybe 42.
Wow. Okay, so he's up against it.
Let's.
So a 6 for the battle shock on the
eels.
On the eels. So rerolled from a 2 to a 2, so it's fine. Okay. They could have lost another one there.
Yep.
And each one of those is now vital. His output is being reduced so much.
Yeah. And his bodies as well.
Yeah, so we're now into JP's turn here, and it's going to be... Honestly, I still think JP's got this absolutely in the bag, even being double turned.
Yep, yeah. I think so. I think it was a really poor decision by Jim to give the turn
away.
I don't
understand it.
I spoke to him quickly at the tabletop, and he did say that he forgot that it should have been alternating activations because of the way that the tides interact with the locust. He should have maybe got to attack with these eels over here before the keeper did, so he would have had 5 more. But I think that probably wouldn't have made too much of a difference.
I don't think
the keeper still would have killed. They still would have died. It would have just meant that keeper had taken a few wounds. And so, yeah, I think he's trying to sort of explain, or trying to compensate for what was a bad decision, I think, really. Realistically,
yeah. So on the tabletop, going into the hero phase for JP, so he's got this battalion which generates some extra CP. I don't think he any longer has the Rod of Misrule. The Rod of Misrule gets him extra CP as well.
Epitome,
yeah. So that's gone, unfortunately.
He's gained the extra 1 from the Cyberite battalion, though, so he's back up to 3.
Yeah, which is, again, devastating. So being able to pile an attack twice, I imagine this unit's not long for the world. This keeper's got to go and do the work, and he has to trust that that's going to happen. As discussed, this unit, this is my play. See, that's going there. It's going quite fast, doing the charge. We will see.
Yeah,
that's the play, in my opinion. Summon, charge.
Yeah, summon something down there and charge. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, into that bottom right-hand objective there. If he summons something in there, charges in there, fights with it first. Those Reavers aren't going to do enough damage to the keeper that you'll be worried. They're probably going to be Locust anyway. So you fight here, take out those last 3. Is it Thralls or Reavers? Can't really see from this distance away. But if he can take out those, he could potentially get all of these points back here and tie scores at 16-16 going into the turn 4 priority.
Yeah, absolutely. Going into turn 4, but with
loads of options,
so many more things on the board than Jim has, and it's
exactly and so many more things in the pocket. It's just got options everywhere. There's so much you could do in this turn.
Yeah, there's still 40 minutes on the board. I don't think the actual mechanics of rolling it out is going to be overly important. I do think what's going to be important is going to be actually making the right decision to get the game. That's the wrong way. JP, don't do that for me. That's going to upset me so much. Consolidate. You never leave half a job done. Yeah.
Unless he's planning to come down there with the
chariot. But can the chariot do the job? Can the chariot knock through him?
I think so. Yeah, they're just Reavers. They're only 1 wound each.
I think if it's argued that he isn't, then he's in a really safe space. Like, just don't do it. Just see that you can use.
But yeah,
you've got to outnumber, and then you're safe. That's good. Also, just putting another threat there.
Harder, so the keeper is the better option to send down there to the Reaver, and also will be in range of its own command ability. So if he does whiff on those attacks and doesn't manage to kill those Reavers, then he gets to try again.
Oh, okay. So they've measured it out, as you can see there. They're both happy that the keeper's able to move, and he's going to he's going to claim that objective by moving on it, which means he can still charge off.
He needs to claim the objective at the end of the turn.
Oh, yes.
Although maybe if he's sat there in combat, he'd still be within 6. It's a big enough base. He only needs to be.
So
within
he's decided
6,
he's decided to absolutely double down at this bottom flank. So this unit here, I'm really hoping I see that go up here and score. So that unit of thralls demonettes. So they're going to run. I'm almost certain. Dwellers Below is stalking us, and if you ever want to listen to an Australian podcast, you can go listen to the Dwellers Below. Great group. And yeah, we go. JP, I'm happy about that.
There you go.
I'm happy about that.
Yep.
That doesn't upset me in any way. So that's just scored him that. So he can just start putting bodies on the board wherever he likes.
Yep.
And just scoring points, going into the priority.
Can definitely get that one. As we say, could probably summon something down here to send into them.
Yeah.
At this stage, with that capped and 10 bodies there, he's probably got enough to just summon another keeper and could just go in there for the 9-inch charge.
So yeah, the demonettes over here got a 4. What I really like about that demonette charge, realistically, although still I would have put them further back, just to stop that, because
range of the character,
just to cause issues realistically. It gives. I think the keepers is wrong. It's this point. It's just pure bodies.
Yeah,
I've got to say. Although, good point. If the eels charge in, they can't guarantee they're going to go first against the keeper.
Yep.
So they're a bit threatened. So you're right. And also, if he gets the keeper and he gets the charge, it's game anyway, right? Yep. And even if he doesn't, he gets it the turn after.
And I think as long as he's scoring the points here, it doesn't like the difference between putting 10 bodies there or 30 demonettes is that the eels can come in, kill more demonettes, battle shock off others. So I think you only need enough bodies to take that objective, and then maybe you keep just keep some depravity in the bank. There's only 5 eels left, I think, up there now, and we're going into the priority for turn 4 after this. So we're bottom of 3 at the moment.
Just working out in the chat, Rincha's making a really good point
depravity.
That you have to 46.
Yep.
Rincha making a really good point that you have to always be outside of 3 inches when you move a model.
I think they measured that.
They measured that.
They did.
Okay.
They measured up and over the terrain piece to here, and then back down. I think is how he did it.
Sweet. Yeah. All right. So it won't be much of a shooting phase. So it will just be a charge phase. He doesn't want any of those double ones going in, but he is sat on 3 CP. Not forgetting this Keeper of Secrets and this Exalted Chariot are going to be able to pilot attack twice with the 3 CP that he's generated. And again, when you go back and watch the Nashcon coverage, and you can see Vince Ventrella just absolutely just generating CP. At one point, he was sat on 11. I didn't know CP went into double digits.
Oh, I've played Legion of Grief, so I
Oh, you know.
Okay. It goes higher.
It goes crazy. But I was just amazed. So him just generating all those extra CP, and he actually accidentally gave one away to Jim at one point the turn before.
I had a game with my Legion of Grief where I used 44 depravity in one game.
Wow!
Across the 5 turns.
So if you guys would like to get an alternate view of the board there, you can see.
Interesting. So he's bringing on some chariots here, I think we're hearing from the tabletop.
Chariots? Okay.
Yeah. Which...
So potentially he's trying to chain summon
Okay.
and just threaten some of the different objectives realistically. And maybe he's just decided, because those eels in the priority.
If he's doing that, he needs to change someone. He needs to change someone here.
He definitely needs to put something in that top objective.
Put some bodies there. Put some bodies there. Try and go for the charge.
Yeah. So he's sat on now 3 because he's got these 2. He's got 3, and because he's got the centre, he's got 2. So he's back up to 5. So he's 13. So
he doesn't have either of these 2 yet.
But if he does get those, then he's going to generate an extra 3. So he's going to go 8. So he's going to draw it up going into the priority, but with a unit sat on every objective, and with Jim with none.
Yep.
So even if Jim gets a turn, as stated. So Benjamin, sorry, you were right. Like going for the no, not going for the points. No, I was right. No, wait, I'm trying to. I don't know. I don't think going for the points is the right call early.
Probably it was potentially already JP's
game. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Jimbo's turn, and whatever he would have done wouldn't have been enough, I think.
So 42 depravity points have been spent, or he's got 42 to spend. Okay, and he spent them on summoning one chariot, and so it's interesting at this stage. He's put a chariot just in the middle.
It's just a strange play for me because he summoned that one there. He could have summoned her here, and then he could have just summoned 10 bodies there, and taken the objectives. Unless he's just so confident he's won now, he's just like I think someone has just said in the
well, he is
Dave Fraser, everyone's favourite Twitter
internet,
personality,
absolutely.
Said he's summoning chariots, then he knows he's won.
Which could be a big play as well. And also, if JP wins, this is going to be huge for him. He's never beat his friend Jim or ever. Well, not in this matchup anyway.
Nope.
So this gets him the win. So I'm kind of rooting for JP in this situation. I love an underdog story. But he's playing Slaanesh, so do I like an underdog story? he's making me conflicted.
Yes, Slaanesh is certainly not
a polarising
in
army
any situation. But yeah, the players behind them, I'm definitely rooting for JP at this stage, I think.
So nobody's decided to be put there. That's a mistake, absolutely.
Yeah, seems like a waste of 42.
Another chariot up there, but I reckon he's just going to go the chariot in for the charge. If the chariot does go in and kill those eels, has got So if he gets that charge off, kills the eels, the game's his anyway.
Yeah.
Realistically, so it's going to be tense. Shooting phase, not much happening in the shooting phase, apart from, as you can see.
Yeah, we've got an Enrapturous on the board now.
There she is. She's going to sing her harp.
That's it.
It's got a bit keen there. Sorry about that, gents and ladies. So she's shooting. Look at that. Staring at herself in the mirror. She's like, "You look beautiful." Strumming her harp.
There you go. Look at this. Pure narrative here.
Pure narrative here. And then just making all these guys that are trying to get into the Enrapturous's DMs just go away.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. It's only 3 shots, but if you can kill 3 of those, battle shock off another couple.
Yeah, these are her
longer
suitors,
charge, though. So I don't know whether I would be. Well, I suppose you're not going to be charging in with the Enrapturous there anyway.
Oh, so we've seen charges go in already. Apologies.
Okay.
So the chariot has gone in at the bottom. I'm not sure about the Keeper of Secrets and if it's decided to charge at the top there. Doesn't look like it hasn't made that decision just yet. Well, obviously, he's going to want to score. Oh, so the harp is within 6. So the keeper's going to go into the thrall. Well, it's rolled a 7. So those thralls are not long for this world.
Nope.
Their souls reharvested into Slaanesh's fane.
Is he within 6 there? That doesn't look like 6 to me.
No, but I assume he's going to try and pile round.
Maybe kill him with the keeper. Kill the keepers. Double pile him with the keepers. So then he can just pile in 3 and take the objective.
Agreed. But yeah, the keeper piling around here will get him and get the objective, and he has to do that for the points. Super important. Oh, chariot into the Tidecasters. That chariot in the centre. He needs a double 6 to do it. I don't imagine that's gonna. He rolled a 10. That's still not bad. And so we're hearing from our table boss. If he had someone within 9, he then would have. Like he should have done, he then would have been in for the charge. So
it's been a weird.
I got to say, JP,
summoning.
when you watch this back, I'm not 100% sold on you putting those units down. I'll say it. All 3 of us are thinking of it, so I'll say it. I love you loads. I don't know you very well, but this is meant with good intent. I feel like there were some other plays for putting those summoning down.
Yeah,
but he still just put like 500, 600 points on the board, doesn't he?
Yeah. Enrapturous is 100, a couple of 100 for each of those chariots.
Rob needs to implement chat music selection during an Enrapturous moment. And is the chariot at the top trying to charge the eels? That's a big question. We're going to find out from our table boss whether or not the chariot at the top tried to charge the eels. He did, but he failed. So this
failed
chariot up there
as
charged.
well.
Okay, but he still secured the objective. So while we see that combat happen, we're going to an update from our man in the field, which is exciting. And he is back. Owen, he knows things about the world. Let's see what he's got to say.
I'm not going to tell you all the things I know about the world, but I'm going to tell you a couple of things which I know about some of the top tables. Mike Wilson and Richie are still playing it through on table 1. I think that is still over. Richie is getting very animated. He can't roll a 4 up to bring back those gits. Those grots just want to stay in their little cave. They're quite happy in there. Yeah, I think they're just playing it out, it seems. Now there's players crowded round 3 tables at present. We've got I can't count. It's 2 tables. There's players crowded around 2 tables. Donald Taylor and Tom Maudsley hashtag Gottrek's dead. Gottrek's gone down. I think Tom really wanted to take Gottrek down, and he has died for the first time this weekend for Donal. He's got good board control though. I think Gottrek was a big distraction mid-game. I think overall it's maybe 9-8 to Donal. There's a lot of models on the board, and it's taken, it's been a bit of a grind there. They were actually only into turn 3, I believe. So there's a lot of players clustered round there, but I think the main table where people are clustered round is table 4. Brian Carmichael Slaanesh versus Mark Wildman's Corn. Now, it's 17 all on points between Mark and Brian. I watched the turn 3 prio, and Mark won it on a 5 against Brian's 4. And Archaon's gone in and killed a keeper. But again, the Slaanesh player, Brian, he's got 30-something depravity, so that keeper can come back. But it seems to be a battle of whose heavy hitters can stay on the board and then what they can summon on. So it seems like there's sort of 20 demonettes for Brian versus sort of 20 bloodletters for Mark. And then you've got Archaon womping around trying to get Slayer of Kings off, and then whack-a-mole keepers. So just keepers keep getting cut down, popping back up again, charging in. I think that still will go down to the wire. Maybe the depravity will be what tips it in Brian's favour. But there's some solid play going on, and a good old ruck in the middle of the board. But yeah, you've got, everyone's disappeared from around their table. Maybe they've just left them alone. But yeah, because it's still going on. And that's kind of where we are. Most people are having a sandwich, having a little bit of a break, gearing up for a big round 5. And yeah, we'll see what that round 5 looks like soon, I'm sure, because games are coming to a conclusion. We've got, 25 minutes in the round? So I think now it's time to pass back to the babes in the booth, Roblin and Benjamin. Back to you. Cheers.
Thanks, Owen.
Thank you so much, Owen. What a babe. Welcome back to, a tense game. We're in round 4 of the FaceTime GT 2019, and we are in priority roll.
We just got back in time for priority.
Priority roll for battle round 4.
You've seen the keeper kill. The keeper and the chariots have killed the
thralls in the bottom.
Thralls on the bottom. He hasn't done it in the right activation order, and so he doesn't look like he's taken that bottom objective there for some reason as well.
Heartbreak. Oh,
it's 2 from Jim. It's a 4 from James.
JP has won the priority roll, and that is absolutely.
What is that?
It's okay. That's okay. That is absolutely going to be what JP decides to. He's going to take the turn, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. He is in a really strong position. I think he could have easily scored all the points in that turn. I don't know what some of his plays were. Like we said, we obviously missed that while Owen was talking, but he could have taken out those with the keeper. He killed 4 of the thralls just with the mortal wounds from the charge alone. And so there was only like a handful left there. He piles in with the keeper first, kills them, and then piles in with the, even if there's no models with 3 obviously on the charge, you can still pile in. So you get that objective there as well as this one. He would have scored those extra 2 points, gone to 14. He could have, we've questioned his summoning already. We won't go on about it too much, but he could have scored all of them this turn. But not to worry, he's won the priority. He's easily going to be able to score 8 points in this turn. He's going to go to 20. He's going to get the chariot here into those thralls. Potentially could kill him on his own, but if not, he'll tie them up. The chariot can come round here to take out these thralls. He's going to be able to get this objective.
It's game.
I think that is probably game. Yeah, I don't see what Jimbo can do. I mean, yeah, unless it's JP's to lose now, unless he makes some really odd decisions in this turn, I think he should score all points. Once these thralls are gone, he's got no way of claiming any of these objectives back. There is a character still down here. Someone asked in the chat by there. What would it be? It might be the Soul Render. It's probably the Soul Render. And the Soul Scryer still hasn't come down. And so James does need to be aware of that. He's going to be claiming these objectives down here with only 1 models. And so he needs to make sure that a Soul Scryer can't just pop there and take an objective. Because even though he wins this turn, he's 20 points up.
Jim's not going to let him just have the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. Jim will be looking for those late game plays, and I think there are definitely people who play well with 4 or 5 models on the board. You still can sneak the objectives. So yeah, I think JP's going to want to score all 8 of these in this turn, and take off
He's those chariots at least going into the eels.
Yep.
Like at least that's happening. I mean, even if that doesn't, that's the game, that charge, because he just has no response back. For clearing up the points, which is as I said, had he come over and dealt with the 2 keepers, like then he had the reavers up. They could have shot into the chariot on that turn when he won the turn. All this summoning wouldn't have happened. Well, it would have maybe, but it would have happened maybe back here. And been around. You never know. He could have come over here, moved, and then also got the contorted epitome in a turn. He could have done the lot. He didn't do the lot, but he could have done the lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a tough old time. Wet Palette Warrior, also thank you for subscribing. Thank you for everyone watching. If you guys enjoyed the game, giving away that turn, that was a big deal, right?
It was a very big deal. I think, Jim, that would be one of those ones that you kick yourself
over and over
for weeks. Yep. But sometimes the pressure does get to you on the top tables, especially when you're on stream. He's spending a long time. He's been spending enough time to think over his decisions, though. Soft hands has so.
He's got 22 minutes left on the clock, so the game, but in no means has been slow. It's been a long old slog, realistically. But absolutely, I think with this next score on the board, that's just going to be the game for me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys at home are just as happy with that as we are. I think it's been a cracking old little adventure, and there's been some lovely little models on the board as well. Look at that. That mesmerizing mirror, by the way, I think can just do the work all day long. I'm a huge fan. And it's been got cast early doors, was in here, and it's just been doing mortal wounds for a while. I've been a fan, but look at that chariot summon into the eels. We're definitely going to see that charge at some point. It's going to be.
We just heard some news from the table. Didn't hear that. Oh, okay. Really, really big news from the table. Mystic Shield has gone off on the keeper.
We'd missed that moment. Apologies.
Sorry, didn't get that live, chat.
And no more depravity points. That's the nice thing that Jim's up against. There's no more depravity points he has to deal with.
Yeah.
He's just
probably not now unless he does a couple to these chariots here.
2 chariots are now going outside of 3.
Yeah.
It's going to be plenty. That's going to be enough to do it, I think.
Yeah. I hope he keeps at least one of those within 6.
Yes, I think that'll be a plan. But that bottom.
He's blocked himself in a little bit with that epitome as well there, with the mesmerizing mirror. He's blocked his own movement from the Enrapturous.
He probably is never going to take that objective.
So now he can't. So now he can't, because if that wasn't there, he would be able to move 6 and claim that objective and shoot those off. But he's blocked himself in, so now he's got to go round. So the only way he can take the objective is to run, which means he can't shoot those off, which means he's not going to claim that objective.
We have also heard that the other Idoneth player, Mr. Luke Morton, has won his 4th game in a row. So
looks like we'll be seeing him on table 1.
Yeah, and Mr. Dan Bradshaw with your 9 Storm Fiend meme list, Benjamin, has also gone 4-0.
Which is not performing. Dan's got 6 actually.
Oh,
He's
Dan's got
not
6.
not 9. But the 2 9 Stormfiend players are not doing well. I think Tony Moore, AOS England captain, was on 0-3 at the start of today with that list.
Which
and
is a
that's
tough.
which is because he didn't put Bridge in it, and neither did Andy Bryan. Bridge is crucial. If you're out there and you've been wooed by all of the Stormfiend's hype, put Bridge in there. You need Bridge. It's the most important part of the list.
I mean,
Jack didn't run it last week. Tony's not running it today. Andy Bryan isn't running it, and that's why they're all losing.
I bang on about it on the show all day. Like you and me spent a good 10 minutes last night just talking about Geminids, and then I was like, I don't think people realise just how good it is. You start a list with Geminids, and if you're taking a shooting list and it's only got mid-range shooting, that Bridge is amazing. But
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think you and Nathan talk about it a lot on stream about how much more you can get out of endless spells once you start playing with them and figuring them out. And I think Bridge is a perfect example of that. It's like once you start playing it, once you realise how much board control it gives you, because you deploy with wholly within 6 of it, and then you can unbind in the following turn. You can unbind that Bridge, recast it in the exact same place. Everyone's still wholly within 6 because they have to be, and then you put the Bridge further on then, so you can jump through them, and you can always be getting to where you need those Storm Fiends to be.
And you can do the same with any mid-range shooting units, especially, by the way, as we go into the Free Cities release, or even the More Tribes release. If we see handgunners being particularly good, there's options there, as well as all the Dwarding units. And then if we also get the do you know, it's been so long I can't remember lead belchers. Yeah, lead belchers dropping across the board. If they end up with some tasty shooting rules, there might be options there as well. Mid-range shooting with the Bridge, just loads better.
Yeah, exactly. Charles Black in the chat has said you just take the Warp Grinder because it's more reliable. And yeah, it doesn't involve a cast, but it's once per game. And then the Storm Fiends are stuck in that position. If they come down in the movement phase as well, they don't have more and more warp power on them. So their damage is just drastically reduced, and so yes, you pop up outside of 9 without having to cast a spell, but you don't have the buffs on them, and without the buffs on them, you wouldn't. You know, if I failed to cast more and more warp power with them, then I just wouldn't send them through the Bridge that turn because they're not going to do the damage that you want them to do. Yes, I can hear you, Darren. So I think it's a lot of just academic decisions. You know, they're measuring a lot of things out here on the tabletop, but you know, like as someone said in the chat, I think we're going to see all of the Idoneth be mopped up in this turn. Maybe this guy will survive just because he blocked himself out here with this spell.
No, you don't count as moving if you use the Bridge because it's a setup, which is exciting.
Yeah, you don't know.
Okay, the 2 charges off at the top. There they are. They are doing what chariots do. Look at that. This is. I don't think Chariots of Fire has actually got anything to do with chariots. I think it's a running movie. But I'm sure there's a. I reckon there's a Charleston Heston movie with some chariots in.
A big 10-inch charge from the harp. Does that get them in?
The harp.
I'd measure that.
So the contorted so this is over here.
It's rolled a 10-inch charge. Jim thinks it's 1 inch out.
Okay, so he's not made the charge in there.
If he hadn't have blocked his own avenue here with his spell, or maybe Jim did that actually.
Yeah, maybe did. Yeah,
you're
not giving him credit where credit's due.
Yeah, JB took the turn. So sorry, JP. If you hear that back, that would have been Jim who did that.
So good play there, realistically. So 5 mortal wounds already from the chariot charges. That's just going to consolidate those eels dying. There's just not enough now for the punch, as they say. Although he's there's not going to be 20 points for JP, because the scoring system here is you get 14 points if you major the scenario, then you get a point for each of the 2 secret agendas that you have. So that's potentially another 2, and then if you deny your opponent's 2 secret agendas, that's another 2, so that's 4. Then if you kill 1,000 points, you get a VP. If you lose 1,000 points, another VP.
I'd imagine I'd imagine that one of Jimbo's objectives is probably secret mission, and that's why that Soul Scryer is not been brought down yet, because he's just waiting until turn 5 to bring him down and take him off in the battle shock phase.
So the Eels are not Locust at the top of the board.
Okay.
So they're going to be able to fight back a little bit. They've lost 3. And if they get the priority role, they can definitely come and take this objective off there, and then they can run into the centre and do that. But there is one model left at the bottom here, and the Keeper of Secrets, as you can see right here, is into the character. I actually missed that charge. I'm sorry, I don't know if I was here for that. There we go. Yep. So that wee character, the Tidecaster, is not long for this world. And also, I think losing 3 Eels at the top, there's a battle shock test, which is a little bit scary as well. Before those chariots even pile in, that's just their impact hits.
They've killed 3 Eels.
They killed 2, I think. I think there were 5. They killed 2. So.
Okay.
Just waiting. The guys
so
are just taking.
He's not going to score the bottom objective. It looks like he's got. So
the chariots are swinging. So we're currently in the combat phase, and one chariot swung has done nothing.
So that's interesting, because even 1 or 2 models surviving from those Eels, he can start nipping around and taking objectives back. He still is. He's ahead on points going into this round, and I don't think that JP is going to get enough to go significantly ahead. And so, like.
Okay, so in the second activation, or the second chariot activating, either way, it's done a ton more damage into those Eels. There's only 13 minutes left on the clock. These players are in battle round 4. It's obviously going to be only right and fitting that this is definitely JP's game.
13 minutes left in the round.
So it looks like, but we're going to wait to see what happens. I would have a wriggle on at this stage personally.
Yeah,
with 2 turns to play.
Yeah, because I think like it isn't completely over for Jim. I don't.
Which
think.
I actually think Jim knows.
Yeah. So he wants.
I think Jim knows that if it doesn't go to a game, if Jim knows it doesn't go to.
Here, he can. Is he within 6? He probably is within 6.
Yeah.
But he's still got the Soul Scryer off the board, who can potentially come in. Maybe at this point he sacrifices, if he is leaving him off the board to score Ancient Heirlooms in the last turn. Maybe he dismisses that plan. He brings, if one of those Eels survives, he can come over here, and he might have retreat and charge in turn 5.
He will.
Yeah.
So it's potential. But this unit at the bottom does need to survive. Realistically, they also have to pass their battle shock. So there's 18 more depravity points on the board, but that isn't going to matter going into scoring for turn 5. So we're just going to wait to find out. It's very tense. I was tempted a moment ago to call it, but actually, these combats have to resolve as we think they statistically will.
Yeah,
realistically,
there's potential for an upset. I think if he wants this hero to survive, I think. Let's think. All right, so JP is going to score this. He's going to score that because he's already got that. He's got the middle one, so he scores. Those will probably be within 6 there. So
we already held it for the turn before.
Oh, he did. Yes, of course. Yeah. So he'll score 3, 4, 5, 6. So put him up to 18. Jim's only 2 points behind.
Yeah.
So he will definitely score this one.
So again, not having 10 bodies that he summoned here earlier on is a big mistake. For that bottom objective.
He'll definitely score that one. He could probably take that one back, or maybe he would take that one back there, and he could score 3, 4, 5. He could potentially score 5 and be ahead going into the priority to turn 5. So,
the keeper is activating now here.
If he wins that priority as well, he could go too many points ahead.
There's only 10 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, they need to get this last turn in, I think.
They do need to get this last turn in. It's very, very close. The Tidecaster's alive still.
Tidecaster's alive. I would spend a CP there if I was JP.
I would
to kill
absolutely.
That,
I wouldn't let that be.
He runs to there,
he's run away.
He runs to there.
He's spending it.
Okay,
I was so tense.
Yes, yeah. He's spending it.
It's absolutely the right
Wow.
decision.
So keeper couldn't even do 5 wounds to a tidecaster there.
He's got 1 wound left, but if this keeper whiffs, this keeper secrets has to go and claim that soul. If he doesn't, that could be the. Oh no, he's gone. Thank God. So close. Ooh. Okay. It's all about bodies on the board.
Yeah. This is not over by a long shot, I don't think. This has been a bad turn.
So 4 mortal wounds from the chariot at the bottom
Okay,
into this character. From the charge, from the 2 lots of mortal wounds that it does. So it's still got to activate in the combat phase. So there's 1 wound left on that character. If that dies, I think that is the end of the hopes for Jim.
Realistically,
But we're going to wait for these final dying 5 minutes.
Let's see what he can do.
And then we're going to come back with an update from our man in the field.
Let's see what he can do. We should be going into his turn now. I think he's got 18 depravity in the bank. He'll probably get a few more here for killing these keepers, so it'll be potentially over 20.
I think bodies on the objectives would have been the right call as well. But we will see.
That was an odd turn. For
Those eels at the top. So there's 5 3-up saves. If he passes all of these, he lives. He made all of them.
Oh. So that guy's alive.
That's massive.
That is big.
That's huge.
James could win this game with 5 bodies on the board here.
He could. But they've only got now 8 minutes left. Taking a long time to get through this turn, with another turn coming up.
Yeah, because Jimbo's still got to play his turn 4, and
there we go. Our table boss just controlling the field and making sure the players are given as much time to play their game out as possible, which great work there from Darren.
This is tense now.
Oh, he's
no.
gone. Oh, it was so close. Oh,
that should be it now. He needed that 1 body alive. Everybody counts at this stage. He's only got 4 or 5 on the board now. 1 soul scryer off the board. He could have taken enough back this turn with the double to go so far ahead that JP couldn't even catch him in the last turn.
So he only now has 2 units on the board. So that's the unit here and the unit of eels at the top. So those are the only units he have. That's probably clutch, realistically, in changing the shape of the game. So the objectives are all going JP's way. Looks like JP's finally going to get to beat his friend. And not only beat his friend, but beat his friend on the telly. He's got to be over the moon about that.
Absolutely,
if I was JP, I'd be like, did you give me the game with that?
You'd take all
decision?
those losses, wouldn't you, to then do to win the one that's in front of the world?
Yeah, and it also sets him up for the win of the tournament, which is huge, right? It's like, who doesn't want to win it? Slaanesh, an obvious choice to win, but he's still got to. So an eel died. Oh, another eel died to Battle Shark. Because there's no way now. He can't come back. He can't.
How many eels are left there now? 2 or 3?
No, there are 2 eels left at the top. I'll just double check though with the zoomy cam. Thank you very much, everyone who supported us with the zoomy cam.
No, it looks like 3.
Oh, there are 3. So there you go. You can see that's how many eels are left. So 1, 2. There's 2 eels. 2 eels left. That's not enough. It can score 1 objective really well.
If he could score that objective.
There we go. So 18, 16.
The soul
going into the
soul
priority.
scryer could drop down into the middle, so he could score 3, 4, 5.
Oh, so the guys might shake hands at this point.
21, but it could go up. He'd be up at the end of this turn. 21. If he scored the.
Very close. They're just working 26. It through. There's no way. I don't think that.
Yeah, Jim. If Jim scores, I was just doing the maths. If Jim scores these 5 this turn, then gets the double, he goes to 26, which means.
No, he's only got what? There's. Oh yes. Oh yeah. So he's trying.
He's doing it. So he could hold him to a minor win. Because the max that JP can get in his turn is 8.
He could draw it out. So he's got to get this priority roll.
If he wins the priority, he could stop him on a minor win.
So the Eels have gone and scored that top objective here.
Soul Scryer's got to drop there to score all these 5 to go to 21. And then if he wins the priority, He keeps those 5, so he goes to 26. The Eels could potentially even come over here, or the Soul Scryer could come over here. If he could take that, he could go to 27. He could win the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right. Why he's not... So he's going for the... There you go. He scored 2 there. Huge mistake in not putting some bodies on that bottom objective now for JP. So there's 3 Eels. He has to win this priority roll. If Jim wins the priority roll, he wins the game. This is so close.
There's 5 minutes left on the clock to those in the chat who are asking.
So there are only
and
5 minutes.
I don't think like these players are friends. They play a lot of tournaments. I don't think either of them wants to win on a timeout. I think they would just discuss it out until turn 5 here, wouldn't they? They would, yeah. I would imagine that no one's gonna.
There you go. They're helping each other out.
Yeah.
They're helping each other out there in that moment.
Yeah, Softanks does really like winning though. So
he does. Big fan. Everyone who plays Warhammer generally does. So there we go. He scored the 2. So that's a big swing. So the priority roll is going to be absolutely huge. Blue if you want Slaanesh to win. Red if you want the Eels. No, red, sorry, if you want Slaanesh to win. Blue if you want the Eels to win. I can't believe it's come down to this priority roll. I cannot believe it. Really fluffed it, but then it's been I think it's been 2 mistakes leading to this situation. Giving the turn away for priority for turn 2, then that kind of like unsettling summoning going down, going over into turn 4, which has set up this like clutch priority roll with only 3 minutes left in the round.
I don't even think he needs to charge there. I think the Eels have got enough movement to just get to there and score that one. Oh, what's he doing? No, that's a mistake if he hasn't done that. And where's the Soul Scryer? If he's keeping the Soul Scryer off the board, is the Soul Scryer
on the board?
Where's the Soul Scryer, Darren?
Oh, because don't forget, he has to, in order to outscore here, he has to have 2 models.
Oh, of course, yeah.
He has to have to.
Yeah. The Soul Scryer should be coming on in the middle.
there's loads of chat. We're down to 3 minutes left. Priority's still not rolled for turn 4.
He needs to take that one this turn and he can win the
turn
game.
5. He does.
He needs to put the Soul Scryer
So
there.
yeah, the reason he hasn't tried to stretch out is he's had to put 2 there in order to score that objective. It's not a big stress. And then, but he couldn't get the other one within 6 to grab that. So that's why those 3 have removed there. So it's very, very close.
Yeah, he's...
Could he have done it? Could he have put 2 there?
He could have done it. He could have won the game. He could have won the game 27-26.
It's tense, like we said. We're down to 2 minutes 30 seconds. There are people watching. They're all across. Darren, if you don't tell Benjamin where the Soul Scryer is, I think he might burst.
Oh, the Soul Scryer's got... Yeah, that's a good point. Sorry, I don't play Idoneth. Like the Soul Scryer's got to come on within 6 inches of the board. But you come on here, shoot the Demonettes, or even charge them.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or even they come on here and then...
Priority. Here it is.
So he only scores 3, 19.
Here we go. We're ready. Go for it. JP's got it, and that has got to be a handshake. That is huge. That's huge.
So Jim would be 19-18 up when the scores are updated because he scored 3.
But JP just wins the game. Because the keeper comes over, nukes these, like, he's all good. Like, the mirror's going to move, though, finally, and take it out.
Well,
but
that means that James is playing it out, though, there. He hasn't given it to him, so let's see what he could score. He definitely scores that one, he definitely scores that one. He owns that one already, so he scores 5, goes up to...
He just puts Demonettes on the board. If I see him put anything other than Demonette on the board, I might absolutely
go over there.
Yeah, I might
get him in a headlock and like, what are you doing?
But it's all his game. There's only a point difference now at this stage. That chariot
he's scoring
and that
5 automatically, even if he doesn't do anything. So he's going to 23.
There you go. There's the handshake. That's wow. I tell you what, if I hadn't already been in hospital last night, I'd be in hospital again from how tense that was. That was outrageous.
That was great. I love those games where it comes down to, like, my favourite parts of Warhammer is when both players are down to about 10 models and you're playing those last 2 games for objectives and it's super tight and super swingy.
Because it comes down to decisions as opposed to dice rolls a lot of the time.
Yes, exactly. It's all down to movement. It's all, like, those games are won or lost in the movement phase. It doesn't matter what happens in combat or shooting, or often it doesn't matter at all. But yeah, super exciting stuff. A really back and forth game. I think some really bad. Not bad decisions.
I'm
I've said it.
going to say it. Own it. Agreed.
Some bad decisions. I think James shouldn't have gave away that turn 2. JP summoning in turn 3 or whatever it was
was not what we would have done.
It kept James in the game. He could have secured that victory in that turn.
But then maybe like he wanted the output, right? Maybe he was genuinely scared of the Eels going through those units. So he's like, I'm going to get something that can do the work, which obviously would be something along the lines of the Chariots or the Keepers of Secrets. So, and they are scary. Those Eels, once you get into them and you know what they're about, they are scary and they can breeze through units. So it kind of makes sense. Anyway,
yeah,
an amazing game.
See, because Slaanesh has summoned probably 600, well, almost 1,000 points probably, at least. He summoned extra onto the board. And James has still got models left at the end. So, yeah, like these Eels do go toe-to-toe with a whole 2,000-point army, really.
So an amazing game. Thank you so much for joining us live.
Yep.
Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Benjamin.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you also to our table boss. I think somewhere Owen maybe has an update from some hot goss that happened around the hall. But we'll start the show with what with.
Oh, he's here.
Oh, here he is.
Let's
So there's actually
a
quick update about what's happened around the rest of the hall. From the amazing Owen, here he is.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that. I was so engrossed in that game. Now, once again, my ability not to read a Warhammer board has been shown to be exemplary. After calling Mike Wilson to beat Richie with his gits all day long, Richie's made an amazing comeback, and it's turn 4. I think they might have to play into lunch a little bit because Richie, after losing 90 grots on the first turn, he's now up on the scenario. I believe it's 18-16 to Richie. He's bouncing around the table. He's spending command points like there's no tomorrow. He's buffing up all of the goblins, and he's just pressed across the board. Absolutely amazing result. Absolutely amazing what's going on there. Another amazing game which went right down to the wire was Brian Carmichael versus Mark Wildman. It was 23-all going into turn 4 priority, and Brian won it and pushed on, and unfortunately Mark took the loss there. So Brian, Slaanesh, they prevailed against Mark's Khorne. That was a big result. But yeah, wrapping up those top 5 tables, Dan Bradshaw got the win, so he's on 4-0. Brian Carmichael with his Slaanesh 4-0. Luke Morgan with his Deepkin 4-0. And that game between Richie and Mike is still going to go on. I think they're going to play a little bit into lunch, so Mike gets his turn 4. But Richie bouncing around like a squig, he is on it now. He really thinks that he can take this out. Donald Taylor, I just need to give you a little update there. Table 6, I think that was such a grind. Gotrek got killed, as I mentioned. And I think once the engine went down, Donal unfortunately hasn't got the summoning anymore, and I think Tom's going to take that out. So with one game left still to finish up, that will wrap up my round 4 roundup. I'll let you know what happens with Richie in the Gits game against Mike at the start of round 5. But we're going to eat some sandwiches and talk about more Warhammer, and it's back to Rob in the booth.
Thank you so much, Owen.
Owen.
Just a goodbye from us as we go for our lunch. Thank you so much for watching. If you obviously want to help out the show, you can subscribe on Twitch, or you can join us on Patreon. Or if not, just tell everyone you had a great time. If you did so, which would be nice.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be nice. But join us back for a tense round 5 as we look at the bracket.
Who wins Facehammer
GT 2019.
Exciting stuff.
It's very exciting. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you in an hour's